Hurry Up Tomorrow is shaping up to be one of the most anticipated and unconventional films of 2025, merging psychological drama, surrealist fantasy, and music into a deeply personal narrative. It marks the feature film debut of Abel Tesfaye, better known globally as The Weeknd, not only as a lead actor, but also as a co-writer and producer. The film is directed by Trey Edward Shults, a filmmaker known for emotionally visceral and visually expressive films like Waves and It Comes at Night. With Tesfaye and Shults collaborating alongside co-writer Reza Fahim, the project carries a strong, auteur-driven vision with deeply introspective and experimental storytelling at its core. The plot follows Abel, a fictionalized version of Tesfaye, who is a globally famous musician battling a relentless bout of insomnia and emotional disintegration. Haunted by his fame, his past, and a growing sense of detachment from reality, Abel finds himself spiraling through a series of increasingly bizarre and symbolic encounters. His psychological state begins to fracture after he meets a mysterious and seemingly otherworldly woman named Anima, played by Jenna Ortega. Her presence challenges his perception of self, memory, and meaning. Anima functions less as a traditional romantic lead and more as a symbolic guide or mirror into Abel's unconscious mind, part muse, part enigma. Keoghan plays Lee, Abel's emotionally manipulative manager, a character that represents the darker forces of control and commodification in the music industry. Lee is not just a business figure, but a psychological antagonist who both enables and destabilizes Abel's descent. The dynamics between these three characters, Abel, Anima, and Lee, drive the film's emotional and philosophical tension, exploring questions of identity, autonomy, ego death, and rebirth. Stylistically, the film draws inspiration from avant-garde cinema and classic psychological thrillers. It uses multiple film formats, 35mm, 16mm, Super 8, to create a disjointed and dreamlike atmosphere, blurring the line between reality, memory, and hallucination. Director of photography, Chayse Irvin brings a fluid, immersive camera style that captures both the glamour of the public-facing music world and the inner turmoil of its protagonist. The editing, done by Shults himself, plays with non-linear time, jump cuts, and layered imagery to reflect Abel's increasingly fragmented psyche. The music of Hurry Up Tomorrow is an essential element of the storytelling. Tesfaye teams up with Daniel Lopatin, also known as Oneohtrix Point Never, to create a score that weaves seamlessly through ambient textures, distorted pop, and emotionally raw vocals. This soundtrack is closely tied to Tesfaye's forthcoming 6th studio album, also titled Hurry Up Tomorrow, which is intended as the final chapter in a conceptual trilogy that began with After Hours 2020 and Dawn FM 2022. If those albums explored themes of regret, purgatory, and emotional healing, this new installment takes it a step further, confronting the dissolution of self and the possibility of transformation. The film is being produced by Tesfaye's own production company, Manic Phase, alongside Live Nation Productions, and will be distributed theatrically by Lionsgate. It has a reported budget of $20 million and a 105-minute runtime. The project is already drawing attention not only because of Tesfaye's global stardom, but because of its daring artistic ambitions. Rather than creating a simple vanity project or a standard music-based drama, Hurry Up Tomorrow appears to be a raw, emotionally complex film that uses the language of cinema and music to confront the emotional cost of fame, the illusion of persona, and the search for authenticity in an increasingly surreal world.